and welcome to this episode of Diaspora Money Today. We are joined on this live show by Mr. Douglas Anthony C. Eze, the visionary leader of TruLEGACY Life Group, insurance based here in Washington, D.C. metropolis, a company renowned for its innovative approach to wealth creation through insurance. Mr. Douglas, welcome to the show.
Hey, welcome. Thank you so much. Good morning.
Good morning. Let's dive straight into today's conversation.
All right.
Diaspora communities are a powerful economic force, but managing wealth can be challenging. How is TruLEGACY Life Group addressing these challenges?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's first, I just want to say to all the hardworking diaspora people that are here, I understand the struggle that we go through coming into America and just building, legacies, working hard. So what we've done at TruLEGACY Life, we're very, very intentional in making sure that all the diasporas that are here understand the rules to the financial system. So you can't play in a game that you don't understand the rules, right? You just be playing around, like soccer. We all like soccer, right?
Right.
If you don't know the rules to the soccer game, you're going to be running around the field like it's just, you don't know what to do. You'll be fouling out. So coming to America, the first thing I wanted to do was understand the financial system. But once you understand the financial system, man, you're going to be able to play in the financial game, right? Because the government is not going to teach you the game. The banks are not going to teach you the game. The media is definitely not teaching you the game. They want to brainwash your mindset.
That's true.
And we immigrants, when we come, the first thing we do, we're very grateful to be here because there's lights, there's electricity, there's water, right?
Good roads.
Good roads, right? So when we start working, we just focus on our work, sending money to Africa to take care of people back home, but not realizing that one day you're going to die. And when you die, what happens to all that money that you've built, that businesses that you've built? So what we're doing is very, very intentional to educate the immigrants that are here on the importance of financial education. Because once you understand that, then, man, the sky becomes, I call it the sky is the beginning for you. Because once you understand the financial game, you could play in it. You got to understand the taxes that happens here in America, the credit system. Because a lot of, coming from Africa, when it comes to credit, we don't understand credit. I was one of the first people that would say to people, we pay cash in Africa. We pay cash and you're very proud of it. Well, there's only two ways you could pay for something. You could either finance it or you self-finance it. So self-financing is paying cash. So what we do is teach you a different way of doing the same thing the banks do, which is using their money 3-4 times before they give it up. So we teach our, the diaspora here on the importance of understanding how to protect your wealth and also to minimize all the debts that people have here.
Excellent, Mr. Douglas. But, something isn't very interesting to me, which was on the launch of your company, I was physically present here, which was very intentional and personal to me.
Okay.
Coming was very, very intentional and personal. Why? Because I wanted to see what you do firsthand, and I want to kind of have a feel of who are your clients. Now, on that day, I saw huge numbers of African Americans.
Yeah.
I will say 99% of the people who came to support your business that day, the launch that we held here, was African Americans.
Yes.
So where are the diasporans?
That's a very, very awesome question. I love that question. We did have some diasporas in the room, of course.
I was there, so you count me as part of diaspora.
Right.
But when I look around the room,
Yes.
I can easily pinpoint how many of us who came.
Yes, because again, it's that brainwashing system that's already happening for so many years. A lot of times, we black people, right? We get into a situation where we don't really support each other, but we do in a lot of other ways. We do support each other. So, the day of that big event that we had a lot of, you probably didn't even see them, but they were there. There were a lot of them there because a lot of times, black folks, we all look alike. That's the thing. You black Americans, African Americans, immigrants that are here, we're all the same. We black, I could stand out if you put me and my black American brother in front of a white person, they would never know what country we're from. So we did have a lot of successful immigrants, diasporans that were in the room that day. But unfortunately, I don't even think it's unfortunate. The fact that, and it's a good thing that you didn't even see the differentiation, because they all came in looking elegant, looking beautiful like our black people do, because that was the whole purpose of the event, to make sure, Legacy is a company that we built to change the narrative of the way people look at the blacks in America, the Africans in America, the immigrants. So we had a lot of folks. We have folks from Kenya that were in the room, but you probably didn't see them. We have folks from Nigeria, of course, were there. And we have some folks from Cameroon as well that were in the room. And then, of course, we have my black American families also that were in the room. So
A lot of them.
And, the thing is, one thing I always preach and tell people is, always remember, the black Americans that are here in America, man, they did so much fighting for me to be here,
True,
which is why I
true.
give them so much respect. And I also want my African families in Africa that are here in America to understand that if it's not for that black guy that you see on the street, if not for his family, we wouldn't be here to sit in hotels. We wouldn't be here to, ride in front of a plane. We wouldn't be here to make the kind of money we're making, because they've already done the sacrifice. They just laid a soft landing for us. So when we come here, all we have to do is just focus on working, because where we're coming from, our leaders are crap. They don't do a lot to make sure that the Africans in Africa continue to survive and make it happen.
Did they do anything at all?
I don't even know what they do, because we have so much poor people
Right.
in Africa, and that shouldn't be happening. So my prayer, and what my duty in here is to make sure that we keep inspiring and empowering my Africans, diaspora that are here, the black Americans that are here, that are now going back to Africa, seeing the beauty of Africa, because they might be the ones that will change the African, the way we see Africa today. Because now they see a way forward. They see that, man, I'm here, and when I go to Africa, I get treated like a king and a queen. Ooh, they go back and look at Ghana, for example. The president of Ghana is so smart, very, very smart. He said, listen, come home. I'll give you land. Come on. A lot of black Americans.
I'll give you citizenship.
I'll give you citizenship that we're killing ourselves to get in a country like this, that where, a lot of times we don't get respected because of, where we come from. So I so applaud the president of Ghana for doing that. And also other countries, I think
Sierra Leone.
Sierra Leone is doing the same thing. Rwanda. Right?
Rwanda, yes.
Man, so again, there's doors are opening for those of us that, especially my black American families that are looking back and saying, you know what, I need to have an identity, because I don't have one here in America. So the black Americans that are going back home and buying land, becoming a citizen of Ghana, Sierra Leone, Botswana, man, Namibia, they're going to change that narrative. I'm just hoping maybe it's in my lifetime or my children's lifetime to see how Africa is going to continue to flourish. We get rid of all the crazy leaders that have been there for 30, 40 years. I don't know how you're 80, 90 years old still ruling a country. What are you ruling? You have dementia. Get out of the place.
Right. I don't want us to get distracted by this other politics and all that kind of stuff. So let's focus on money.
Okay.
And let's focus on diaspora money.
Let's do it.
Because the diaspora money is a very important, aspect that people in the diaspora. I watched a video 2 days ago of a young lady who, claimed that, oh wow, a lot of diasporans are tired. They want to go back home. And a point of argument was that paying these bills, waking up early in the morning, cut the story short, understanding the financial system as you've pointed out in the beginning of your conversation here. Can you elaborate more on that for me, how to understand the financial system?
Yes, definitely. That's a great thing.
How can you understand this financial system that is so complicated and complex?
Well, you know what? It's not even complicated. It's just
Okay.
that the folks that is sharing the information make it complicated.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
When they make it complicated, then it's hard for somebody to move forward. Me being an immigrant, coming here, working, when I first got into this country, I was sleeping in my car, washing cars, washing dishes at the back of a restaurant, just doing the odd jobs to survive. Living in my car to survive, doing paper routes to survive. And then as God will bless it, I got introduced to this financial business. And then getting into the industry, I was just in the box like everybody else.
Okay.
Doing the same thing that the media tells us to do, that my manager said. But I said, where's my manager getting his information from? And then I sat back and I started watching everybody, and I realized they're getting the information from the media, the government, and the banks. So I said, okay, let me watch these three entities that
The banks, the media.
the banks, the media, and the government. Let me watch three of them. And I realized quickly the government, the media, and the banks work together. They're like, I call them the three sisters or the three brothers, whichever way. And I realized, listen, the information they're passing on is not the real information for the people, because what they want to do is use your money while they're telling you to use your money instead of their money, meaning OPM. The banks understand that they use other people's money. When you go to the bank and you loan the bank money, people don't think about that. When you put money in a savings account, you're loaning the bank money. And in return for you loaning them money, they're paying you 0.25% interest. And in some cases, they may even charge you a fee.
Right.
But because you have a bank that you're going to, you know the bank teller or the bank manager, well, that bank manager still can't get credit. If he messes up his credit, he gets fired.
Right.
Then you look at the government, the U.S. government don't print money. What they do? They use other people's money. Taxes. For every dollar you make, 40% of your dollar goes to taxes. I'm like, wait a minute. So I pay taxes while I work, and then I go to the grocery store, I pay taxes again on the same money I just paid taxes on. And then the thing that most people don't realize is, when was taxes introduced to America? So I started doing research about that, and I realized taxes was introduced in 1913. When it came out, it was supposed to be temporary, 7%. The highest tax bracket back then, 7%. I said, wait a minute, 7%? But as soon as the government tasted that money, because money, is a spirit. As soon as they tasted the money, they wanted more. 3 years later, they introduced what they call inheritance tax, estate tax. So now when you die, you got to pay taxes again. So I said, wait a minute.
Wow.
How about people that work in the government? Do they get a tax discount for working in the government? No, because they're civilians just like you. They just have a benefit of working in the government. So if you work for the IRS, you still got to pay taxes. Even the president pays taxes. Why? Because the entity, the institution, don't care. They don't die. The institution don't die. The president's going to die. The secretary die. Everybody's going to retire one day. And guess what? A new person steps in and start running the country based on the Constitution. So when I realized that quickly, I said, okay, continue reading this Constitution, understanding the system. I realized even the government said, listen, we get it. We understand. And when you look at the wealthy people in America,
right,
they understand the tax game. Because why? They hired the same guy that wrote the tax code. Because it was a human being that wrote the tax code. It wasn't a computer. So that guy retires at an early age, maybe 55, still young, still killing it. And he goes and said, let me go work for the rich man to pay me, because I was making minimum wage over here at the government.
Right.
Let me go work for the rich guy. And I'm going to charge him $1,000, $2,000 an hour to break the same tax code that I wrote. And guess what? That's what they do. So when you get into the system, you got to start understanding and take time. Don't just work, send money back home. No. Take your time, understand the rules. Go to financial literacy classes. Follow people that you know that are educating. Unfortunately for Africans, black people, and it's not just black diaspora, everyone. Everybody's an immigrant. Whenever you think about immigrant, we think about the Mexicans and we think about Africans. Man, there's immigrants here from Australia. There's immigrants from UK. The only difference between our skin color and theirs is they're white. But they're still, American government don't give a care what country you come from. They understand that when you come in here, you're going to love the country and you're going to work hard and you're going to pay taxes. And one day you're going to die. And most immigrants don't even have a will or a trust. And because they don't have a will or a trust, guess what? Everything goes to probate court. And the government takes again. And before that money gets to your family members. So what we do at TruLEGACY Life is teach you, educate you on the importance of understanding the system. If you're working a job, you got to increase your skill, your mindset. Don't just be comfortable working that job that you're working at. Start thinking of ways to expand your mindset. When I was waiting table at IHOP, when I was washing cars, delivering newspapers, you know, it wasn't a job I wanted to be at. I'm like, man, and I see other people working the same job. They were comfortable there, and they were happy doing that job. But I said, man, this is not my future. I want to do, because I see this other guy getting it. What makes him different from me?
From you.
So I said, nah, I need to find something. I know there's something else. And one thing, the great thing about God and the universe is once you change your mindset, start plugging into the right mindset. I stopped watching TV, you know, because again, the media, I don't want to feed in my mind and brainwashing me. So I say, no, I'm going to stop listening to them. I'm going to focus and find somebody else that is doing it. And I started listening, reading books that changed my mindset, doing different things to change my mindset, surround myself with the right people that understand the American system. And I learn from them. And that's what we're teaching folks. And right now what we're doing with our company is we're looking for folks. I'm saying to a lot of the immigrants that are coming in, you don't have to work construction work if you don't want to. You don't have to work as a CNA if you don't want to. You don't have to work at the prison system because there's a lot of Africans working in the prison system. And they're very rude to the African people that are the black Americans that are in the prison, and not understanding that it's a system to keep the African, the black mind, you know, because our black mind is so powerful. And of course, we get into a situation for little things. I was just looking at the other day, so many people, there was this young girl that was, I think they got her for stealing chicken. And she got 9 years in prison. Wow. And then you have somebody else, a white skin, that commits so much crime, millions and steals millions of, they're still walking around the street. That's crazy. The law should be the same for everybody. But again, because we're so divided, we don't work with each other, we don't talk to each other, we don't help each other, and we don't understand the rules. So we keep losing and keep losing. We need to stop that.
Great, Mr. Douglas. Okay, so let's talk about what are some common financial misconceptions among diasporans, among diaspora communities, and how does your company, TruLEGACY Life Group, address those challenges?
Yeah, so thank you for that question. So one thing that we do is this. We help our clients find money in places that they're throwing money away unknowingly. Unknowingly because you don't know you're doing it, and unnecessary, we could fix it. So one thing that...
So give me an example of how I throw money away.
Okay, I'll give you a good example of that. So there's 5 areas people are throwing money away. One, taxes.
2,
mortgages, when you buy a mortgage. The other one, interest rate on mortgages.
3,
qualified plan, like a 401k, IRA, 403b.
That's number 3.
That's number 3.
Number 4.
College planning for your kids. And the number 5, which is a big one, major capital purchase. Now, what is major capital purchase? Major capital purchase is anything your paycheck cannot buy. For example, if you make $5,000 a month,
okay,
and you want to buy something for $20,000, there's only 2 ways you could buy that stuff.
Okay.
Either you go to a bank and get a loan and pay $20,000 for that car or whatever, and you get a loan from the bank finances it, and you make monthly payment. Your paycheck can pay monthly payment. The second way is you save up $20,000.
And pay it cash.
And then you pay cash, but here's the problem with paying cash. When you pay cash, that's called financing.
Okay.
The problem that most people don't realize is when you pay cash, you just borrowed money or loaned money from your future person. So, for example, if you're 20 years old and you saved up $20,000,
Okay.
first of all, it might have taken you maybe 5 years to save it.
Okay.
And now you just, boom, spent it down. Now you're 25 and you just took 20,000 and you pay cash for a car. The problem now is because you just lost 20,000, because we don't think about the opportunity cost of that 20,000. So every time before I spend $1, I think of myself, I say to myself, Douglas, what would that dollar be worth in the future for my, if I'm 20, for my 25-year-old, for my 30-year-old? Because the 30-year-old just gave you $20,000 to pay cash. Are you going to pay yourself back? Well, most people don't pay themselves back. So what I do, whenever I pay cash, I start paying myself back with interest back to myself so that when I'm 5 years older, I have all my $20,000 back plus all the interest that I would have lost.
Okay. Mr. Douglas, let me take you on the mortgage path.
Mortgage, okay, yes, let's talk about that.
So you said I'm losing money.
Yes, big time.
When I put, investing in a mortgage.
Yes.
How is that? how on earth?
Are you losing money?
All I have been told
Yes.
was that mortgage is an investment.
Woo! Okay. So first of all, folks, let me break that myth down.
Okay.
A mortgage is not an investment.
Okay.
It's just a fancy name for rent. Just sounds good. Mortgages. I have a mortgage. It's rent. You're renting from the bank. You went to the bank and the bank said, first of all, they took you to the ringer to give you the money to buy the house you want.
Okay.
Now you buy the house, the bank becomes your landlord that you're paying rent to every month.
Okay.
Now, when you have stuff breaks down your house, can you call the bank and say, fix it?
No.
No. Now, in addition to the bank, now here's how the bank and the government make money, because the government tells you, buy a house, you get a tax credit, right?
Right.
Then the media say, generational wealth. See the two brainwashing system to get your money? So what that happens now is when you bought that house and you say, I want to leave this house to my children. But your children don't want the house. A house is an investment if it's making you money. And now, in addition to the mortgage, what else you have to pay? Taxes and insurance.
All right.
Taxes and insurance. Now, here's the key that most people miss. You, as a human being, you are a property in the eyes of the government. You're a property. How much value do you put on yourself? But no, when we buy a house, the bank says, listen, I just gave you $300,000 for that house, but listen, I need to value the house and see how much it's worth if the house burns down. So now you got to pay more to keep that insurance in addition to your mortgage payment. Then you got to pay taxes. So when the house is paid off, guess what? You still got to pay taxes and insurance. Yeah. And the government could still take the house if you
default
on taxes. An investor can buy it. The only time a house is an investment or mortgage is an investment if it's making you money. Meaning, I could go to the bank, loan money from the bank to buy a house that I rent out to multiple people. Now it's an investment for me because now I'm the landlord, not the bank. The bank is only landlord to me, but I have tenants paying the mortgage so I could take care of the bank, but I deal with my tenants. That makes sense?
That makes sense.
So, but if it's a house you're going to live, it's not an investment. It's just a place to lay your house. It's a house. It's a house. I've seen so many families make so many mistakes. They get pregnant. Oh, I need to buy a house for the baby. No, the baby don't need the house. The baby needs a crib. They need a crib to sleep, and they're going to be in that crib for 3-4 years. So save your money before you start jumping out there. Man, a home is a place where you build memories.
Okay.
Where you enjoy your family. There's so many poor people in Africa that live in one home, one room, and there's still joy. There's still so much love. You know, when you're making decisions just because you want to impress other people, that's how you make financial mistakes. So we teach you a different mindset because I'm working hard. Our agents at TruLEGACY Life, we're working hard to unbrainwash the people that come into our presence.
Okay. So another thing that I need you to break down to our audience is you said mortgage is one of the key ways of throwing away money. You also pointed out that saving for your kids' future education
Yeah.
is also another way of throwing away money. How is that possible?
I love that question. Folks, listen, we're in America. This country is so blessed. There's so many companies that are looking for what? Tax deduction, right? Tax write-off. And all these companies give away money, millions and millions of dollars in scholarship money. Why isn't your child getting that scholarship? It's free money. You don't have to pay back. But the reason is because you emptied out your retirement plan to pay for your child's college. And you start feeling guilty. I don't want my child to get student loans. I don't want my child to pay. I'll pay for your college. I get it. But I ain't doing that for none of my kids. Why? Well, I took care of them from the day they were born till they turn 18, whatever the college age is. And they only have 4 years. They need to pay for that 4 years, not me. Do the math. 18 years. You pay for their diaper, their food, their everything, all these years. And you're talking about 4 years. What were they doing for 18 years? They're supposed to be studying to get that scholarship. Instead, what are they doing? They're playing on TikTok. They're playing on social media. They're hanging out with their friends. See, when people pay for something, they pay attention. But if they don't pay for it, they're going to blow your mind. Do you know how many parents have emptied out their retirement account to pay for their children's college? And then the child decides, oh, I thought my child was going to be a doctor. They go talk to some joker students, what do they call them?
Advisor.
Advisor. I don't want to be, I don't want to do that course, but I don't want to disappoint my parent.
Right.
And the advisor said, you don't have to continue. Right. What would you love to do? What would you want to do?
I want to be a comedian. Or I want to be a musician.
I want to do something different. Go ahead and change. But you just spend $200,000-$300,000 from your, there's no retirement loan. When you retire, there's no loan.
True.
So parents, don't pay for your children's college. Get it?
That's another topic for another day.
Okay.
Because a lot of parents will be calling me and saying, no, Mr. Douglas needs to break that down. And they're going to give me a lot of reasons why that is impossible. And I have a very practical scenario that I was going to bring up, but I don't want us to digress away from diaspora money today. So lastly, before I let you go, Mr. Douglas, what's your company? What's your vision? Let me use it that. Let me look at that way.
Okay.
What's your vision for the future of wealth creation for diaspora communities?
Yeah, our vision at TruLEGACY Life Group, which is headed by my wife. Actually, she's at an event today. But our vision is to empower the immigrant communities. And we're very, very intentional. The underserved communities. And I'm going to name them.
Okay.
There's the West Africans, there's North African, there's South African, there's East African, there's Caribbeans, there's Haitians, there's Latinos, there's that are here. That's 120 million people that are underserved. So our goal is to educate them. And the only way I can do it, where my wife can do it, and our team can do it, is we're looking for other immigrants to come join us at this crusade. Because if we don't join together, we will continue having the same mistake. We're teaching financial education on a different level, not the way that they teach you somewhere else. Come join us. We're looking to build 80,000 financial professionals in the immigrant community. You don't have to be a CNA if you don't want to. You could come in and learn the financial game, learn the financial system. I didn't have no college degree from Africa, none. Just a high school diploma, that was it. And I came here, waiting table, washing cars, doing all these things, and look at me today. You could do the same, because all I'm looking for is someone with a mindset and a heart to win and help other folks. Because I know how the struggle is so hard. I get it. But listen, you change your mindset, you could change your family's zip code.
Wow. You change your mindset, you could change your family's zip code. Don't forget that. Before I let you go, once again, Mr. Douglas, I saw a video about you, right? And this came to mind because you mentioned that you came to this country with only a high school diploma.
Yeah.
I came about a video about you, and you are rated among the African diaspora millionaire.
Yes.
So that is incredible. And you mentioned in that video that at one point you donated one of your kidney to a friend,
Friend, yeah.
and also you spoke passionately on how you built your wealth legitimately and how you continue to legitimately educate people on how to be financial, informed financially, have financial literacy, which is, very important. I get it. What would you say to that man on the street walking around with a master's degree, with a PhD in cybersecurity, and still struggling paycheck to paycheck?
Yeah. Definitely, one thing I believe is this, when I got into this financial business, right, I didn't know nothing about finance. I saw a group of people that they said they were making money. And I looked at them, their suit looked good. They had cars in the parking lot. I mean, I'm a black man. Those things attract. So I'm like, man, whatever they're doing, I want to learn. And then I found out it was the insurance business. And then I realized, I said, okay, let me research this insurance industry. I realized the U.S. insurance companies have more money than all the world banks combined. That was the first thing.
All the world
banks combined. The U.S. insurance company, I'm just talking about the U.S. and just the life insurance industry, they have more money than the federal government.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes. The
Than
U.S.
the Treasury.
than the Treasury. They got money. More money than... I'm like, wait a minute. They also control 75% of the wealth in this country. I'm like, man, this is where I want to be. I don't care what anybody's saying. I'm going to now focus my energy and learn this to the tilt.
They have 75%.
But they control 75% of the wealth.
I don't believe that.
Think about it. Banks love life insurance. Banks. Most people don't even realize banks will loan a wealthy person money to buy life insurance. That's one thing. Second, banks understand how powerful life insurance is. Insurance companies are an institution. They've been around since the 1800s. Think about it. Since the 1800s, they've been collecting money. The U.S. government started collecting money in 1913.
1913, exactly.
So if I started ahead of you, 1800 years, and you just started in 1900, come on. You have a head start. I don't care who you are. And they're still collecting money till today. Think about, we got to watch the examples. During the 2008 crash, a lot of companies went under. Even one insurance company was having issue. AIG. They didn't have money. They were having, a lot of their stuff was struggling. They made a phone call to Bush was president then and said, we need some money. And the U.S. government wrote them a check quick. Now, the dealerships, car, Ford, all these companies, GM, they made the same phone call. We need money. What did the government make them do? Congress they had to have a meeting and say, listen, you all have been talking about this electrical. Drive yourself to Congress, come to D.C., and we'll give you money. And they gave them stipulation. You remember that?
I remember that.
But they didn't do the same stipulation for AI. They gave them the check. Because if that company had gone under, a lot of people would have lost so much money. Because insurance companies support all the pension plans.
True.
Man, all the real estate.
True.
This building that you're in right now was owned by an insurance company. You'll never see the name on the building that was owned by an insurance. They sold it during the crash to an individual that bought it, and now it's bought by another family that owns it now. But they own 4 buildings and insurance. It's another car. They own so much real estate, you wouldn't even understand. So insurance company, that's why I bet in life insurance all day, every day, and focus on it. But that's the same message, because we from diaspora, I don't know about life insurance. It's just for and you hear all the bad press in the media about insurance. Of course they're going to have bad press about it because they don't want you to own it. But they tell you to put money in a bank. You talk to a so-called financial advisor, what they do? put your 6 months emergency money at a savings account at the same bank that's going to charge me a fee
Right.
to take my own money.
Monthly fee.
Monthly fee. Come on. All the misleading, all the lies, it stops today at True Legacy Life. Come join us and let's make it happen.
That is not all between me and Mr. Douglas Anthony C. Eze. I will continue to expand more, to elaborate more on diaspora money market and diaspora money today. We have to get in this crusade, like
Yes.
Mr. Douglas mentioned, and also be financially informed on how we spend our hard-earned money. Until I come back again, my name is AbdulRasheed Abubakar. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.